with the remaining time we've got left here, I do want to ask the question, how do you permanently stop these leaks? So we know the leaks we talked about earlier, you fix them by raising your standards, getting clear on your strategy, and embracing a culture that is skills focused. It may feel like a lot, and this may feel hard to do. And like these are 3 areas that require a lot of work. How do we get it right? It's simple. It's not always easy, but I'm going to propose to you the idea that it's simple. And I want to explain an idea that I've had for a long time. And all the success stories we've talked about have been based off the visuals you're about to see here. And all of this can be fit in about a 1-page or up to a 5-page playbook. And it's pretty straightforward. But what I would propose is that closing a sale is like crossing a bridge. And it doesn't matter if you're doing one-call closes, B2C, or long-term B2B, multi-stakeholders, year-long sales processes. The same 6 steps need to happen to close a sale. You've got to pinpoint the pain of the buyer. You've got to qualify the lead. You need to find the right solution and success. You need to have a great Q&A process where you're overcoming objections and selling value appropriately. You need to give clear next steps at all times, and you need to close the darn thing or schedule the next chat. This is strategy in one image. Now, the example I gave earlier, the calculator for the financial company, that was their step 3. The other example in standards for qualification, that was step 2 for them. The 3 next steps for the educational product, that was step 5. And you need to make these titles your own for your company. That's your strategy. If you can distill your sales strategy into one visual, it's easy to understand. It's easy to follow. It's easy to teach. And it means something way more important than just this generic version that I have here. So that's the first idea that I would propose is your strategy is your bridge. Next is your standards. And I would think of like your standards, 3 things. We see 3 colors here in each step. Within each step of your strategy, you should know what is bad and unacceptable, what is good, and good is yellow and average because it's easy to be average, but then what's excellent. And when we talk about the different standards for starting a call or ending a conversation, we want to know what excellence is. If you know what your 6 steps are, and you know what poor, what good, and what excellent are across each step, you have defined your strategy and you have defined your standards in very powerful ways. And you just need to put words to it. You need to change the titles of these boxes, and you need to find another page, and you need to say, red in step 1 is this, yellow in step 1 is that, green in step 1 is that. And so everybody understands what your strategy and your standards are. Once you've done these 2 things, the skills part, it's really just about the calendar. It's about saving space. Do you have an hour or 2 every other week or maybe weekly blocked off to practice selling based off your strategy and your standards? You might have role play time or you might have practice time now, but is it based on the right strategy and the highest of standards? That's how you get the most out of that time on the calendar. And when you get these 3 things working together, it is a sweet recipe for success. I promise you. And you can put all these things in a very, very simple sales playbook. It makes your coaching better, your training better, and your selling more effective. What you also get, which is kind of the final piece, is depending on your tech stack. And I love that Adam Pounds is here. And we've got another friend of ours, John from MayaRec, who's listening to this call. And you've got different ways to take this and run with it. And if you know what your bridge is and you know what your standards are, you are able to calculate what we call a bridge score. And your bridge score is a great way to quantify the effectiveness of a sales conversation or the quality of a deal. And you take this and apply it with your tech stack. You can use this in just spreadsheet scoring for role playing. You can use it and weave it into your Gong criteria or your scoring metrics on a tool like MayaRec or Sales Call Pro, and you've got different things where you can plug and play. And once you know your standards and strategy, you can measure and track and perform at a totally new level. It all comes down to this. And if you feel like a lot of this is hard to apply, I'll just say get 1 page and start noodling and scratching around. What's your bridge? What are your standards? If you want to keep building on today's content, at BridgeSelling, we do a few things. 1, we do quarterly trainings like this for free. So come back and come to the next one. The other way you can keep building on what we've talked about today is I wrote a book. It came out a few months ago called Fix Your Broken Sales Calls. Aaron's going to put some links in the chat. And Fix Your Broken Sales Calls, it's a total guide on how to create your bridge and how to create your standards and how to implement it in your company. The second thing that you can do is schedule a free consultation with myself or Aaron. And we work with companies to get very clear on your strategy, to define high standards, and then to install that rhythm of coaching and training so skills never dull. If that is something, if you're listening to this and you feel like this is great stuff, I do want this on my team, but you're up to your eyeballs in things going on as a sales leader, then sometimes it can be helpful to have a thought partner or an outside person helping you get some of these things done. And that's what we do at Bridge Selling. So I would love to continue to have a one-on-one conversation with people here that find that interesting. I just want to send you with a parting thought. How can you replace more with better? And be thinking about that over the weekend. Be thinking about that as it relates to your strategy, your standards, and your skills. Thanks for spending part of your Friday with us. Have a great weekend, and I'll stay on for any questions that are left.